Chapter 11. Oscar opened his eyes, but his mind was veiled in a fog of turmoil as he sat alone at his kitchen table. The scene around him was chaotic, with empty pill bottles sprawled across the surface and crushed tablets littered about, creating a white powdery mess that radiated outward like a cobweb, with the 2 spoons used for crushing them forming the epicenter. It looked like the aftermath of a small storm. He muttered to himself in disbelief.
What the fuck is going on?
Trying to shake off the strange feeling, he stood up and made his way to the sink, splashing cool water on his face in an effort to flush his confusion down the drain. He wondered if everything he had just experienced in the hospital was merely a dream. The kitchen was dimly lit, but he could glimpse a small TV screen flickering in the reflection of his stainless steel kettle. As he turned away from the sink and walked into the lounge, he saw Claire, who sat comfortably on the couch wearing a short, sheer summer nightie. Claire looked at him with concern. Her voice was lovingly gentle as she asked,
"Are you okay, hon?"
opening her legs and gesturing for him to come sit on the floor, between them, leaning his back against the sofa. It was a surreal scene that could have belonged to a theatrical performance. He could hear an audience reacting with oohs, ahs, laughter, and heckles to his thoughts and feelings, as if his life were merely a scripted play. Recognizing a chance to find some solace, he walked over to her, settled himself on the floor, grabbed a bowl of cereal, and turned his attention to the TV cartoons as Claire rubbed his shoulders soothingly. However, as she moved from his shoulders and her hand brushed against his neck, a sudden wave of pain shot through him. He cried out, his voice loud and thick with emotion. Tears streamed down his face as his body convulsed in agony.
Not my neck. No, not my neck. It hurts so much.
He cried and collapsed to the floor. Ancho, wearing a similar short white summer nightgown as Claire, emerged from the dark hallway. Her tone was firm, final, and abrupt as she entered the room with a sense of authority.
"Oh, enough of this. You big crybaby."
Then she looked wantonly at Claire.
"Coming to bed, darling?"
Claire stood up instantly as if he no longer existed, leaving him curled up on the floor in a fetal position, in a state of complete helplessness, sobbing from the unbearable pain. She even switched off the light, leaving him alone in the darkness. The only illumination was the eerie, flickering blue glow of the television, and the only sound was a cheesy cat and mouse cartoon soundtrack. Oscar jolted awake again, this time for real, and found himself back in the hospital bed. His neck still felt incredibly sore, but the nature of that pain was different from anything he had experienced before. It didn't hurt in the typical physical sense, yet it was excruciating in its own way, desperate for understanding. He buzzed for the doctor, who promptly arrived, accompanied by Claire. Oscar's gaze was intense as he locked onto Claire, seeking reassurance.
It's my neck. I had the strangest dream, and you were in it.
He reached out for her hand.
It hurt so much in the dream, and now that pain is here too.
He struggled to articulate himself. He stammered and stuttered, disoriented. The doctor exchanged a glance with Claire that seemed to carry a mix of surprise and deep concern. Oscar noticed this exchange. He became more demanding, his tone filled with panic.
What's going on? Please help me, Claire. Please help me.
Dr. Roy spoke calmly as he attempted to reassure him.
We're not entirely sure yet, Oscar. This has all just happened. It's not uncommon for feelings and sensations from our dreams to carry over into reality, especially since you've been taking cannabinoids and other medications. I wouldn't worry too much. We can adjust your dosage, and everything should be all right.
Luckily, Oscar missed the raised eyebrows and look of alarmed Doc directed at Claire as he left the room. Claire's voice was soft as she reached out and took his hand, her eyes filled with concern and comfort.
"It's going to be okay, I'm sure of it."
Both felt a sense of emptiness in her words. He could feel her underlying worry. She shared a story of a dream she had experienced, explaining how the strong feelings tied to dreams could linger long after waking, especially given the stress he was under. She offered the reassurances that he was dearly loved and very well cared for. She talked without the regular pauses that she usually left so he could digest, and monologued until the doctor returned, who appeared much more upbeat and relaxed. Dr. Roy's tone was now cheerful as he entered the room.
How are you feeling now?
Oscar was still hesitant and fearful, his eyes wide and skin pale. To his credit, though, he was trying to stay positive.
Better, thanks, Roy, but it still really hurts.
Dr. Roy shook a small plastic bottle, producing a tantalizing sound.
I have just the thing for that. Don't worry, it's nothing too serious, just something to help you sleep and guaranteed to stop any more dreams from interrupting you tonight.
Without hesitation, Oscar swallowed too, and soon after, the weight of weariness enveloped him, and he passed out just as promised. Dr. Roy's expression changed dramatically.
What the hell? Everything was going so beautifully.
Claire's eyes welled up with tears, her voice strained with worry.
I know. I thought we were on the right track this time. I really thought we had it. Did you contact them?
Dr. Roy nodded somberly.
They're devastated. They'll be here soon. They've been staying here.
When Withene arrived, she went straight to Claire and hugged her. Everyone in the room was trying their best to appear stoic for one another's sake. Dr. Roy's tone lay somewhere between sympathetic and positive as he addressed them.
Well, this is a big step in the right direction.
He continued, his tone becoming more determined.
We haven't gotten this far before. We just need to give him another break, and then we can try again.
A heavy silence blanketed the room as they each took a moment to transform their disappointment into something constructive, holding hands to strengthen their bond. It brought them comfort until the door swung open as Ansho walked in, heading straight for Oscar. She pressed her forehead against his, her eyes closed. She whispered,
"Don't worry, I'm here. We'll get it sorted."
She turned to the others and demanded,
"What the hell have you been doing to him?"
Dr. Roy was defensive as he attempted to assert his authority.
Look, as far as I know, you are mainly here as a decorator and events manager. This is a medical issue, and it has nothing to do with you.
Russell interjected with an authoritative tone as he stepped in to defend Ansho.
Whoa there, Doc. Easy now. Ansho is more than just a decorator, and I for one am extremely glad she's here.
He glanced at Claire and added,
Good call.
Claire's voice sounded confused with a hint of defensiveness creeping in.
I didn't call her.
Ansho interjected.
Oscar did.
Claire asked.
When?
Ansho winked at Claire and said,
I was asleep, and my guide woke me up, saying Oscar needed me. She told me that you guys were slowly killing him. Then I connected to his subconscious, and he revealed that you were fighting, preventing it from doing its job properly. You're making things worse, and you do know he's connected, right? He has a spiritual family that are also concerned for him. They recognize that as his physical parents, you love him and are doing your best, but this guy here...
She gestured towards Dr. Roy.
He has no idea what he is doing. I don't know exactly how you are supposedly treating Oscar, but it's causing him harm, probably killing him.
The doctor shot a look of exasperation at Withene. His tone was dismissive as he excused himself from the room.
I'll leave you to deal with this woman. What we're doing is working, and I can't handle her right now.
As he exited, Withene turned her attention to Ansho, who had settled beside Oscar, holding his hand. Her eyes closed, her face radiated a transcendent peace. So first she, then the others, followed Ansho's lead, coming together to form a circle around Oscar, shifting into a more harmonious state. After about 10 minutes of silence, Ansho stood up and made a cup of tea. The room was permeated with a thick tranquility. Russell walked over to Ansho and embraced her gently. He pleaded,
I'm so grateful you're here. Please, tell us what we should do. We're completely at a loss.
Ansho said,
I'll be happy to, but first, you need to tell me what exactly you've been doing to him.
Russell's voice was softer as he began to explain their approach.
We've been doing our best to save his life. When he overdosed, he was sitting on a dining chair. The way his head slumped over the back restricted blood flow to his brain. It was starved of oxygen, resulting in brain damage. He can remember everything that happened before that night, but he has trouble forming some types of new memories. After his long initial coma, when we revived him, it was as if he were locked in the emotional state he was in at the time of the overdose. He was determined to try again, even attempting to overpower the doctors to end his life. As a result, they placed him in a state of deep sleep. It's not technically a coma, but rather a type of stasis, which we believed would allow its recovery to progress as his brain activity was minimal. Then I found the subs. I was told by the person who gave them to me that they would help him to function on a subconscious level, similar to how you do, but without the rigorous training. We had nothing to lose, so we thought we would try it on Oscar. Initially, it worked, well, partially. It seemed that his conscious mind once again had data storage capabilities. The sub provided him with access to short-term memories, helping to keep him engaged with new experiences while promoting positive energy. This was promising progress, but the sub couldn't allow new experiences to be encoded into his subconscious memory. It was as if something essential was missing for proper learning within his subconscious mind. When we first revived Oscar with the sub, he responded enthusiastically, excited about the opportunities and the new world opening up for him. We presented him with various improvements, but as his engagement deepened, so did his frustration. We hadn't fully grasped how much the subconscious aids the conscious mind in the learning process. Without this assistance, Oscar could recognize new individuals and learn new things, but couldn't master them. Each time he tried a new video game, even if he'd played it 20 times, it felt to him as if he was starting over again from scratch each time. His brain absorbed the information, but it never translated into his muscle memory. This repetitive cycle would completely overwhelm him. Think of a child learning to walk. The immense focus required just to stay upright is daunting, let alone taking steps. The child must constantly measure the distance to the next stable object to hold on to, while coordinating the muscles necessary for balance. It takes complete focus and is exhausting. Now, picture that same child a few years later at 7, lounging at home, feeling parched. The conscious mind only needs to desire a drink. Meanwhile, the subconscious handles most of the details of getting up, walking to the fridge, opening the bottle, pouring the drink into a glass, and then sipping it, all while the conscious mind is absorbed listening to the movie. The inability to grow new subconscious-driven skills led to frustration, which was overwhelming for him. We did our best to keep his conscious mind occupied so that he didn't wallow in that negativity. Yet he would start to dream about the night everything fell apart, and he would spiral back into those painful and agonizing memories and fixate on suicidal thoughts. Therefore, we would perform what we're about to do now, allow him to have a long sleep to recuperate, remove the sub, providing him a fresh start. The medication will stop him from remembering this time, and we will begin again from scratch.
Withene's voice was soft as she added,
We want it to be a gentle transition into his new life. We want to ease him into things gradually, so he doesn't relapse into those dreadful feelings he once experienced.
The room fell silent as Ansho took time to process these startling revelations.
How long will he be asleep now?
Claire tried to reassure her.
Oh, at the moment it's just a sedative. He'll wake up in the morning. If we don't re-sleep him.
Ansho asked,
Can you please refrain from altering anything until then, so I can take this into processing and find out what we should do? I would like you all to hear what I come up with before you proceed, because as it stands now, I won't stay unless the sub remains untouched and he stays awake.
Withene appeared uneasy by this request, but Russell promptly reassured her.
We can absolutely do that. I'll inform Roy.
Ansho stepped out of the room, and with an A turned towards Russell, desperation lacing her voice.
Are you sure about this?
Russell's voice was strong and resolute.
We must try something different, Peeta. It's been 14 bloody years.
Ansho returned, opening the door wide. She pushed a bed in.
I'm going to sleep in here with my new friend Oscar. You promised me that no one would re-sleep his memory, and I will make sure nobody does that accidentally,
she said with a wink. Russell chuckled lightly, finding her eccentricity endearing. His voice was lighter.
I'm sure we can trust the doctor to adhere to our wishes.
Ansho was now playful as she ended the discussion.
I'm sure you're right, but now I won't have to worry about it,
she said as she jumped onto the bed. They bid her a good night and left them in the darkness.
Get some rest, buddy,
She whispered to Oscar.
In the morning, I'm breaking you out of this shithole.